The woman in the red dress. There's a legend around here. One the old folks whisper about when the nights grow long and the wind howls through the trees. They say her name was Helena. But now, we only know her as the woman in the red dress. Helena was once the envy of everyone. Beautiful, graceful, and always wearing that striking red dress. People would stop and stare as she walked by, admiring her elegance, but behind her perfect smile, there was a darkness growing. Helena had fallen in love with a man who promised her the world, a man who said he'd marry her and make her his forever. But on their wedding night, he didn't show. He vanished, ran off with another woman, leaving Helena alone, heartbroken and humiliated. Her grief consumed her. She wandered for days, still in that red dress, until one stormy night, she took her life by throwing herself into the river. When they found her, her once beautiful dress clung to her lifeless body like a bloodstain. But Helena didn't rest in peace. Some say the betrayal twisted her soul, and now she walks the earth, looking for those who remind her of the man who wronged her. You see, Helena, the woman in the red dress, haunts the living. They say she only appears to those who wear red, just like the color she wore on the night she died. And if she finds you, well, you won't live to tell the tale. People in Raven Hollow have reported seeing her always in the distance at first, a figure barely visible in the dark, her red dress billowing in the wind. But once you see her, it's too late. She'll come closer and closer until you can feel her cold breath on your neck, and when you turn around, there she is, her pale face twisted with sorrow, her dark eyes staring into your soul. I remember hearing about a girl, Sarah. She and her friends had been camping just outside the town. They were laughing, telling ghost stories around a fire, never thinking that any of it could be real. Sarah was wearing a red scarf that night, completely unaware of what was coming. As they sat around the fire, the wind suddenly picked up, the flames flickered, then went out, plunging them into darkness. That's when Sarah saw her standing at the edge of the trees, barely a shadow at first, but the red dress was unmistakable. Sarah's heart raced as she tried to warn her friends, but they didn't see what she did. The woman in the red dress was coming closer. Panic set in, and they ran, scattering into the woods. But no matter how fast they ran, Sarah felt the woman's presence closing in. She tripped. Her red scarf caught on a tree branch. Her friends were already gone, the sound of their footsteps fading into the night. Sarah tried to get up, tried to scream for help, but the cold fingers were already on her throat. They say that if you hear the woman in the red dress speak, it's already too late, and that's what Sarah heard, a whisper in her ear, like ice crawling down her spine. "You betrayed me," the woman said, her voice echoing through the darkness. Sarah's scream was the last thing anyone heard. By morning, she was gone, vanished without a trace, just like so many before her. People still talk about it, how Sarah disappeared that night. They say it's the curse of the woman in the red dress. And if you wear red, you're inviting her to find you. So, if you're ever in Raven Hollow, and the wind starts to howl, and you think you see something out of the corner of your eye, do yourself a favor. Don't wear red. Don't look too closely, because once she chooses you, there's no escape. The woman in the red dress is always watching.